Okie dokie, this is just a quick and dirty video on how to build a jack stand cover, sort of, pseudo thing for a cinder block. And that just fits right over the top of a Mark 1 Mod 1 cinder block like that, so that you can jack up your car and stick your wheel right on top of it. Now, a lot of people tell you don't use a cinder block to jack up your car because it will explode and fall on you and kill you and break all of your ribs. And they're right. And another big component of that is never, ever, ever put anything on a cinder block this way. Cinder blocks are designed to take load vertically, not horizontally. So if you put your jack on top of a cinder block with the cinder block sideways, it'll just shatter the cinder block and kill you. That said, cinder block is still not that strong, and this is just designed to help distribute the weight a little bit. You should never trust your life to one of these, but I'm just using this to hold up the back end of a 3,000-pound car, and the front of the car is on ramps. But you can't put ramps on both sides of the car. Well, you can, but you have to jack it up, so why spend $40 on ramps when I can just build a set of these out of scrap lumber I've got lying around? So, just real quick, I'm going to show you how I built that. Built that in about 10 minutes. Didn't look at any plans. It just fell right out of my brain onto the floor. And I'm just trying to slather it onto this wood and see if this works. So, you'll come along for the ride. If you're seeing this video, I survived. Or I'm in a wheelchair. One of the two. So, to start off, you need the dimensions of your cinder block. Luckily, cinder blocks are building materials, and they have standard dimensions. A cinder block is 7.5 inches tall, 7.5 inches wide, 15.5 inches long. Nominally, we'll just say it's 8 by 8 by 16. So what you need is a sheet of plywood. This is 1/2 inch treated. 3/4 would probably be better, but I've got a bunch of 1/2 inch scrap lying around. And I have cut this to roughly 10 inches by 18 inches. You want to err on the side of larger rather than smaller. And I just hack this super rough, and it's not pretty at all because it doesn't need to be. And then once you do that, you're going to need to get a 2x4, about a 10-inch long 2x4. And what I've done is I just stuck it right into my miter saw and just cut it in half. Actually, I think somebody planed this. I did that with those down there. But anyway, besides the point, cut that to about 10 inches so that you have a 1.5 by 1 3/4. Then take the tall side, set it on either side of your wood, and then what you're going to do is set your plywood on top of it. And I've already done this step, and I just went and undid it because I decided I wanted to do a video. And you're just going to drill 3 holes, you can probably do 2 if you want to, into your board. And then you're going to take a 1 5/8 wood screw and just cinch it down the whole way. I wanted to be fancy, so I've countersunk all of these with my countersink bit, just so that everything sits flush. But you don't need to do that. It will help you keep wood from splitting, though. And you're just going to screw that onto either end, just like this guy. And then you're going to take it, flip it over, and these are treated 1x4s. These are furring strips for roofing. They use them for purlins. And I just had some of that lying around. I have ripped these in half on the table saw so that they are essentially 1 by 1.5s, 1 by 2s, something like that. And I've cut that to 2 roughly 9-inch pieces and 4 roughly 4-inch pieces. And I have then flipped this over, and I have drilled and countersunk through into this inboard 2 screws for each of these, right just generally in the center, right at the very edge. Then for these 9-inchers, did the same thing, except I drilled in from the top, just roughly in the center. You want those all the way at the edge so that they fit on the outside of the block, and that keeps the board from moving on the block. Then as added insurance, right here in the middle, I found the dead middle of the board, and then I measured a 3-inch gap, and then on the outside of that 3-inch gap, I have drilled in 2 4-inch, once again 1 1.5 chunks of furring strip, and just drilled them in from the top. You could do it from the bottom, but then you'd have a screw poking up where you have your tire sitting, so that's a no bueno. So I've gone from the the top down. And yeah, those sit on either side of the centerpiece of your cinder block, so that you can just take this, set it down like that, and then it can slide around as needed. It'll fit any size cinder block, and you don't got to worry about it. And then what you would do is you would just slide your jack under your car, jack your car up, push this underneath, sit the car back down, and then for added insurance, take your jack, stick it underneath like the rear axle, or jack it up, put a jack stand on either side. I'm doing this because I'm going to be underneath this car banging on shit, and jack stands are not going to be particularly stable on the dirt I'm having to work on. So rather than me get under the car and wriggle around and accidentally kick a jack stand and die, I'm going to gamble on putting cinder blocks under it and then putting jack stands as a safety measure, because this is a lot more stable. It's not going to have a hard sheer weight on it like it would if you had a bottle jack sitting on the cinder block, because that's where you run into problems with cinder blocks, is when you have sharp downward pressure, which will cause the block to shear and break. Since I'm going to have the tire sitting on top of this, which is suspended by the suspension, and I also have this sheet of plywood on top of it, all of that weight is going to be distributed and softened and smoothed. It's going to be gradual loading weight, like wind forces on a building. So I suspect the cinder block should be way stronger. Anyway, I'm rambling. I know this is incoherent, but this is really super, super easy. This cost me nothing. I've literally got garbage screws that I'm reusing from a previous project. This is all scrap wood. Just throw it together in 10 minutes and you can use it to cover a cinder block. And that works as good as a ramp, except for you can't drive on top of it. All right, there's my second one. Bam. And if you wanted one of these to be really tight and just really cinch up on your cinder block, you can do that. That's totally an option. I made these so they'll fit any cinder block because cinder blocks come in a wide variety of shapes and sizes. Like these guys right here, they have this big, thick ridge right here so that you can pick them up. Or I don't know why they're there, but that's what I like about them, is because I can just grab them and yank them around. Some have square edges like that. This is a particularly thick one. Some are much thinner. Some don't have that little doohickey down there. And yeah, they all tend to be the correct external dimensions, but this internal area in here tends to change around a lot. And if you have a specific set of cinder blocks you're planning on using, you can make it exact as you want so that this just cinches right on it. You drop it on there and it goes and holds itself in place via friction. Mine are loosey-goosey, also because I don't care. I'm just trying to make these as fast as I can. And yeah, I got my set made. Let me go huck them underneath the car real quick. See they work. All right, so here's my cinder blocks, and here's the car I'm gonna be using them on. And I forgot. Well, I didn't forget, but I was not willing to think about it too hard. This 3-hole cinder block that I had out here, I wasn't sure if I had another one that was, a regular cinder block like that, but I didn't. I had this one, so I had to make some emergency repairs, and all I did was just move the things over 2-3 inches, and they fit on there just fine. So, like I was saying, cinder blocks come in every shape and size, and I guess if you wanted to be, extra careful, you could put this right here. I think this is about a, 3.5 inch gap there. You could do 3 or something like that, but that's what we're gonna do. And I guess I'm gonna have to go get the floor jack and jack up this rear end and stick these under there, because I gotta get up there pretty high. This thing's about 9 inches tall, so I've got to get the wheel's 9 inches tall, which means I've got to bottom out the suspension too. So this is gonna be fun. Well, I tried putting the car on blocks, and for whatever reason, my floor jack just suddenly broke. Does not go up, just follows the track of the handle, and that's it. So, great, awesome, fantastic. Well, after this guy sat in the back of the truck all day, getting bounced around while I ran errands, came back and it worked just fine. So I've done some creative jack work, but I got her high enough up I was able to slide the blocks under. And I'm just going to get all of this crap out of here real quick before it collapses and kills me. And just show you how stable these cinder block stands are. And hopefully it'll be level and not pitch forward like that when I'm done, but it probably will be. Alrighty, there she is on the blocks. So she should be nice and solid, no need to worry about it. But I can finally get in here and actually work on the undercarriage of this car, and including removing the transmission pan, doing something about the lack of muffler, these holes right here that go up into the bottom of the trunk, drain the differential, all that jazz. And I can do so relatively safely. She is just resting on that jack, so that jack stand has pressure on it enough that I can't move this board. This one, it's not touching. There's about a ½ inch above it. And yeah, there's the undercarriage of this worn out Mercedes. Well, there you go. Here are your DIY makeshift cinder block tire chalk jack stand doohickey, whatever the hells they are. Yeah, I can finally get up underneath here and actually work on this car. Get a lot of stuff I've been meaning to do. Oh man, there is a lot more rust up here than I thought. This thing's from Delaware and I'm in Charleston. I'm not used to Yankee cars. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, if you like this kind of crap, make sure to go down there, smash that like button. If you think this is a horrible idea and that I'm going to kill myself, and that you would like me to kill myself sooner, go down there, tell me in the comments. Be sure to tell me I'm an idiot. Any comment helps me out, so damned if you do, damned if you don't. And if you want to see more of this trash, you gotta subscribe, so go down there, smash that too. Till next time, Tom out. Man, I'm not even gonna put that in the fucking bloopers. That was shitty. I will put this in the bloopers though.